Brian Norris, the operations coordinator and narrator for Team Oracle, featuring Sean D. Tucker flying that very small, bright red, custom-built biplane known as the Oracle Challenger. Sean is going to be high overhead later this afternoon to give you his full 15-minute power routine, but we are going to start the day out a little bit different. Up in the sky now with Sean is his 26-year-old son, Eric Tucker. Eric, a very accomplished aerobatic pilot in his own right, also a very accomplished aerobatic instructor at the Tutima Academy of Aviation Safety back home in King City, California. Eric is flying the German-built Extra 300. It's a two-place aircraft used extensively all over the world for aerobatic flight training. It is used for aerobatic competition, and of course, as you can used in air shows. John D. is flying a one-of-a-kind aircraft known as the Oracle Challenger. That aircraft was custom-built specifically for Sean by our team over approximately 16 months. It weighs in at barely 1,200 pounds and is powered by more than 400 horsepower, making it without question the most high-performance aerobatic biplane in the world today. Ready, go! You can hear Sean making the commands from the front as he switches formations and maneuvers. When not performing solo aerobatics, Sean and Eric are joined by two other pilots, Bill Snyder in a full-ship aerobatic team known as the Collaborators. That team features Sean in the Oracle Challenger, 2 Extra 300s, and 1 Edge 540. They will be performing all over North America as well through the 2008 air show season.
Right, wing over right.
And now, coming through Air Show Center, put your hands together in the Air National Guard Staudacher S300, Mr. John Platt.
First, ready, go.
Sean considers this morning flight to be a nice, easy, early morning warm-up flight, and also an opportunity for him and Eric
You got
to
the line.
practice some of their formation aerobatics. If the folks here at Andrews Air Force Base had been unable to allow them this practice window, they would have had to wait until their full show later this afternoon. Typically at most show sites, we are not flying under such tightly controlled airspace, and Sean, when not able to perform a teaser or an early morning practice, he still climbs into the Oracle Challenger, flies to an area 20 to 30 miles away from the airport hosting the air show, where he will practice for 20 to 30 minutes, because he feels that's what he needs to do in order to give you the best performance possible when he comes back on stage later in the afternoon. Our air show season runs from the middle of March until the middle of November. In that time, we will perform at more than 23 show sites all across North America in front of a total of more than 8 million air show fans. In that time, these two aircraft will accumulate more than 300 hours of flight time and travel a distance of more than 25,000 miles. Once our air show season concludes, in November, we will return home to Salinas, California, where we will then take the Oracle Challenger completely apart. The wings will come off, all of the control surfaces will come off. We will remove all of the fabric covering. We will strip all of the sheet metal down to bare metal. The engine is removed and completely overhauled. The propeller also is removed and completely overhauled. We then make any repairs or modifications to the aircraft. It is then assembled after having been recovered and repainted. And then our goal is to then test fly that aircraft no later than February 15th. Keeping in mind that the original dismantling of the aircraft starts on approximately November 15th. It's a very busy winter. It gives us something slightly different to do. We will then reassemble this aircraft, spend 2 to 3 days test flying it and getting it tweaked, and also getting that new engine broken in. Sean will then practice 4 to 5 times a day for 3 weeks to get himself in condition for the new air show season. And then we will once again hit the air show road in the middle of March. Later today, you're going to see another of Sean's many original maneuvers, which we call the triple ribbon cut. Right behind the Blue Angels, in the grassy area between the ramp and the inboard runway, there is a line of highway cones and orange snow fence, which we call the 500-foot reference line. Sean will not fly any closer to the crowd than that reference line. So what we are going to do is suspend 3 sets of ribbons, which are 20 feet above the ground, and they are 700 feet apart out and across that line. What Sean will do is that show line is obstruction-free. Once he is convinced of that, he will then return to slice all 3 ribbons in one single pass in 3 separate flight attitudes. Right knife edge, left knife edge, and finally inverted. While in knife edge flight through those first 2 ribbons at over 210 miles an hour, Sean's lower wingtip will be less than 20 feet above the ground. Right now, Sean pulls to the vertical to demonstrate another original. It's called the double hammerhead. Right now, hard, full left rudder, and Sean brings it around not once, but twice. Diving in now from the left, Sean is going to start. What he does is dive underneath that first ribbon. Wheels less than 6 feet above the ground, 210 miles an hour. He then performs the triple avalanche, now looking out through the top of the canopy, trying to find that second ribbon. Just on the other side of Blue Angel number 6. Once in sight, he continues under that ribbon and then finally underneath the 3rd ribbon. Back now into the sky, which Rob tells me is going to be beautiful blue later. We're going to hold you to it, Rob. Sean is about to show you the world's smallest inside loop. We call this our loop. Once he pushes that nose down and rolls his way to air show left, that is our indication. Free. He is now ready to attempt to slice all 3 of those ribbons in one single pass. Again, keep in mind, this is Sean's rehearsal flight this morning. The ribbons aren't out there yet, but they will be in position for the full show later this afternoon at approximately 2:30. He will go left knife edge flight through number 2 and inverted to take out that 3rd and final ribbon. And I misspoke briefly a second ago. Sean will actually be back on stage at 1:30 this afternoon instead of 2:30. Sean D. Tucker is considered to be one of the top solo aerobatic performers in North America today. The winner of virtually every single award that can be offered and given to an aerobatic pilot in North America. Just last winter at the International Council of Air Shows convention held in Las Vegas, Nevada, Sean was inducted as one of the 4 newest members into the International Council of Air Shows Hall of Fame. And we are very proud that later this summer he is going to receive probably the top honor to date while in Dayton, Ohio. For the air show there, the home of aviation, Sean is going to be inducted as one of the 3 newest members into the National Aviation Hall of Fame.
Turning it down from the area. Hello, diving.
And now setting up for the final maneuvers of this morning's rehearsal flight. Sean is going to bring this aircraft to a virtual hover in front of you while Eric continues at high speed to loop around his father. Sean is only using approximately 75% of his available horsepower to bring this aircraft to a hover in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, showing you why he is considered to be one of the very best. Put your hands together for Sean D. Tucker in the one-of-a-kind Oracle Challenger, and of course, his 26-year-old son, Eric, in the Extra 300. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show coming up for the rest of the afternoon, and you are going to hear all about it from the finest air show announcer in the country today. He's also a very dear friend, and you guys are very fortunate to have him here. That is my dear friend, Mr. Rob Ryder.
Thank you, Brian Norris. Ladies and gentlemen, would you join me in a round of applause for Sean D. Tucker, Eric Tucker, and Brian Norris, Team Oracle, here at the 2008 Joint Service Open House. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're just a few minutes away, actually, from the upcoming opening of our show, our traditional air show opening, which will include the flying in of the American flag, as long as the winds don't get too great, and also the circling of those of the jumper by Sean and Eric, I believe, or is Greg Poe going to circle the jumper? Greg Poe is going to circle that jumper, Paul McCowan. Paul McCowan is from Cincinnati, Ohio.